Good morning, students. This is our final part of lesson 2, Socialism in Europe and the Russian Revolution. In this last final part, I am going to explain you theoretically the NCERT questions which are necessary to work down in your fair notebook. And some questions we have already completed. As the first question in your NCERT book for the socialism in Europe and the Russian Revolution is, what were the social, economic and political condition in Russia before 1905? So students, when I explain this particular topic, I have given this question as a homework and discussed with you also through the notes. So this question no need to do once again, but just I am reminding you. Second question, in what ways the working population in Russia different from the other countries in Europe before 1917? Second question is that you have to explain the working condition of Russian people, how they were different from the rest of the European countries before 1917. So from here we need to do the question answer in the fair notebook. So second question I am going to explain you that how you have to complete these questions. So as far as that working population of Russia was vastly different from the European countries in the following ways. How they are different? You have to give the answer that the working population of Russia, how they were different from the rest of the European nation before 1917. So about when we see the example in Russia, then we find that about 80%, first point is about 80% of the Russian even in the early 20th century were agriculturists. This proportion was much higher than the other European countries. It means in Russia before 1917, most of the, you can say 85% people were engaged in agriculture work. They were agriculturists, which is different from the other rest of European countries before 1917. Second point, that in Russia peasants were divided into groups, as I explained it earlier also. These divisions are based on their religious sentiments, and unlike European peasants, Russian peasants had no respect for nobles. No respect. It means as the other European countries before 1917 respect the nobles, but the Russian peasant had no respect for the nobles people, and the Russian peasants wanted the land of nobles to be given them. They refused to pay rent and even murder the landlords. It is important that how the Russian peasants were different from the rest of the European countries before 1917, that they were not liking to the you can say nobles, as the nobles exploited them and they were not ready to give the rent or the taxes to the nobles, and sometimes they murdered the landlords also. In this manner, this is the second point, that the peasant or the working class of the Russia are different from the rest of the European working people. Third point, unlike European peasant, they were natural socialists. They pooled their land periodically and their commune divided it according to the needs of the individual. The another different point we find, that the peasants and the working class of the Russia were naturally socialist thinking, and they were different from the other European nations before 1917, and they pooled their own piece of land, and according to their needs they divided the fields and they produced the crops. Other point, that unlike Europe, in Russia workers were divided. Now we are talking about that workers, as 85% people were agriculturists, but now we are talking about the workers before 1917 in Russia. So unlike Europe, in Russia workers were divided in social groups. Division were based on their skills. As I told you earlier also, that in Russia the worker divided on the basis of their skill, that what type of particular skill or talent they are having. So in this manner the working class divided into three groups, and they are, first is the state factories, second the professional factories, and the third is manorial factories. So in these three categories the workers were divided in the, you can say, in Russia before 1917, which was not divided, which is not similar to the rest of the European countries. They were divided into three categories in which Russian workers were divided. Now the another different point in Russia, when we talk about the population, that how they were different in their working, their beliefs, their actions, their thinking from the rest of the European countries before 1917, is that the condition of factory workers was miserable. They could not form any trade unions and political parties to express their grievances. That when we see that in Russia before 1970, the condition of the working class was so pathetic that they are not allowed to make their own union. They are not allowed to participate any political parties or make their own political parties where they can express their sorrow, their suffering, their exploitation. They were not free. Industrialists exploited the workers for their selfish ends. In Russia before 1917, that's why there was a Russian Revolution. That's why the people, agriculturists and the workers participated wholeheartedly in the Russian Revolution. That now working class were exploited by the industrialists. There was no limit of working hours, as a result of which they had to work for 12 to 15 hours a day. It was a pathetic condition of the Russian worker, that the Russian workers have to work continuously 12 to 15 hours, and it was totally exploitation by the landlords or the, you can say, industrialist, which was not similar to the other workers from the rest of the European country. So it was the answer that you have to give in such a manner that these are the ways of working population in Russia which was different from the other European countries before 1970. Now the next question of NCERT, that why did the Tsarist autocracy collapse in 1917? Collapse means come to an end. That why? What was the reason that Tsar autocratic rule was ended completely? The reason are that the Russian state under the Tsar Nicholas II was completely unsuited to the needs of the modern times. It was a first major reason. The Tsar still believed in the autocratic divine right of the king. That when we see that what was the solid reason that Tsar Nicholas II autocratic rule was ended in Russia, the first reason is that under the autocratic rule of Tsar Nicholas II, there was you can say that it was not developed at the need of time. There was no modernization in terms of construction, in terms of education, in terms of political right in Russia. That because Tsar still believed that there should be an autocratic rule to govern the subjects. That's why it was a major reason that how the Tsar Nicholas, you can say, Tsar Nicholas, all the rulership come to an end. Second, the bureaucracy that Tsar recruited was top heavy, inefficient and unflexible. Members were recruited on the basis of privileges and patronage, not on merit. Second reason that why Tsar Nicholas II's regime come to an end, that whatever you can say whatever opportunity on the basis of for the to fill the jobs in the court was done by the autocratic rulership, it was only based on the privilege of birth, that only the upper class people can fill the job, even they were not having the talent or skills. It was also, and its selection, under the Tsar Nicholas II, the people's selection for the particular job is only based on their privilege of birth, not on their merit. It means they are not liable for the job, but still because they belong to the higher class, they were appointed. So it was again the next reason why its autocratic rule was ended. Third reason, the Tsar had built a vast empire and imposed Russian language and culture on the diverse nationalities. Third reason is that Tsar became so much, you can say, partial, that he imposed the Russian language on every citizen of Russia, and the culture also, while there was so much of diversity in terms of religion and nationalities. So it was also the another reason which become a prominent figure to end the Tsar Nicholas II's rulership. Now, another point is that the peasant and the workers who formed large section of the population were miserable and frustrated. The Tsar was totally ignorant, indifferent to the condition and needs. Say the another important that the king, the specialty of the king, that he should be very much aware about the suffering, about the needs of the subjects. But in the case of Tsar Nicholas II, he was not worrying, he was not capable to listen or to solve the frustration and the miserable condition of the subjects. That's why he became a totally ignorant, indifferent, and very cruel king to the common people of the Russia. Another reason that why Tsarist autocracy collapsed in 1917, the Tsar Nicholas II imposed restriction on political activity, changed voting laws, and dismissed any questioning or restriction on his authority. The another important thing that the Tsar, when he was a king, that he imposed the unnecessary restriction on the any political activity, meetings. He banned the meetings, public meetings, and he produced the laws and which are limited, which limits the power of the common mass, and he also dismissed the power from the common people, that they cannot ask any question towards the autocratic rule or authority of the Tsar. The another important point why the Tsar, you can say Tsar Nicholas II's autocratic rule collapsed at the beginning of the First World War. At the beginning of First World War, people railed around the Tsar, and but as the war prolonged, he refused to consult the main party in the Duma. Thus, he lost the support. The Russian army lost battles. This led to over 3 million refugees in Russia, which was the condition. It exposed the economic bankruptcy of the government, and in it increased it you can say it exposed the economic bankruptcy of the government and increased liability on the already impoverished population. Now again, that after the First World War, the economic condition of the Russia was so poor that it shows that the king was not liable to solve the economic condition of the common people. It was just like a bankruptcy of the government. The another and the final reason that why Tsar Nicholas autocratic rule was collapsed, the liberal ideas of the West and growth of socialist ideology. The liberal ideas of the West and the growth of socialist ideology led to the formation of many socialist groups, which infused the workers and peasants with a revolutionary spirit. And finally, that the liberal people who was having the idea of liberty and the feeling of socialist and the ideology was also increased among the workers and the peasants, which united both of them, as they both were totally exploited by the autocratic rule of Tsar Nicholas II. After that, in 1917, the revolution is started in Russia, and after the revolution, Tsar Nicholas autocratic rule was totally collapsed in 1917. So it was the answer of third question. Now the fourth question. The fourth question is that make two lists, one with the main events and the effects of February Revolution, and the other with the main events and effects of the October Revolution. Write a paragraph on who was involved in each, who were the leader, and what was the impact of each on Soviet history. So as when I explained the content, the February Revolution and its effect, In the same way, I have explained through the notes October Revolution and its effect, but here the question is asked in a different manner. So you need to do it once again in this particular manner. The main events of the February Revolution. You will make a column that what were the main events of the February Revolution. Like, first, in the winter of 1970, conditions in the capital, Petrograd, were harsh. Second, in the capital city, the workers' quarters and the factories were located on the right bank of the river Neva. On the left bank were the Winter Palace and the official buildings, including the palace where the Duma met. So, in such a manner. Second, you will write down the effects of the February Revolution. The effect you have done in the notes. Then you will write down the impact of February Revolution on Soviet history. The February Revolution had no political party at its forefront. It was led by the people themselves. Petrograd had brought down the monarch and thus gained a significant place in the Soviet history. Now, after that, you will write down the main events of the October Revolution. So, when we say the October Revolution, you have written as a note, so you will copy it from your notes. Then you will write down the effects of the October Revolution. It was also explained through the notes in previous video, so you will copy from your notes. And then you will write down impact of the October Revolution on Soviet society. So in this question only this thing has added, that you have to write down one thing more, that what was the impact of the February Revolution, and here what was the impact of October Revolution on Soviet society. So the October Revolution was primarily led by Lenin and his subordinate and involved the masses who supported these leaders. It marked the beginning of Lenin's rule over the Soviet, with the Bolsheviks under his guidance. So this is only main thing that which is not explained earlier, so you have to add it. That impact of the October Revolution on Soviet society and impact of the February Revolution on the Soviet society. It was only this thing that you have to add, but for this you have to do once again this question in your NCERT fair notebook. Next question from NCERT for this chapter is, what were the main changes brought about by the Bolsheviks immediately after the October Revolution? It was also explained through the notes, and I have given this question if for your homework also, that what were the changes the Bolshevik party when they after the October Revolution, as they give the permission for the political meetings, and this thing I have given you. So you have to copy this and you have to do this question if necessary, and if you have done it earlier, so no need to do it. Next, the last question, write a few lines to show what you know about. It can be asked that write a short note about these. First is kulaks. Second is the Duma, women workers between 1900 and 1930 in Russia, the liberals, and the Stalin's collectivization program. So this is also important that in NCERT every single question should be attempted by you. This is the final thing for the entire syllabus, either the geography, history, civics, economy. In all these things you cannot leave a single question which is present in your NCERT book. So buy your NCERT book, arrange your NCERT book for history, civics and geography, because without book it can't possible that you can solve all the question answer. Book is utmost important. So you have to write down some lines on the following headings. The first is kulaks. The kulaks is that, what is kulaks? It is a term used for well-to-do peasants in Russia. So the peasants who are economically you can say economically powerful in Russia, these peasants were known with the name of kulaks. In the period of Stalin, it was decided to eliminate kulaks to develop modern farms and run them along industrial lines with machinery. And what had happened that when Stalin come to its active mode, he decided that these kulaks should be eliminated, separated, as there is a need to develop the modern farms and run them along industrial lines with machinery, and these farms should be run by the industrial lines and the updated machinery. So well-to-do farmers or the peasants in Russia were known as kulaks. Second, the Duma. As I told you, the definition of Duma. Duma was an elected consultative parliament. It was created by the Tsar. The Duma was created by the Tsar during the 1905 revolution. But later he dismissed the Duma because he did not want any questioning of his authority or any reduction in his power. The Duma was a parliamentary consultative parliament, and it was constructed, or you can say created by Tsar Nicholas II after during the 1905 revolution. But after seeing that the people are asking question regarding his authority, he himself dismissed the Duma, as he didn't want that anybody can ask question which is against from his rulership or which reduce his power. So it is the Duma. Next, women workers between 1900 and 1930. It can be asked as a short note, that write down a short note that what was the condition of women workers in Russia during 1900 and 1930. The women workers in Russia constituted 31% of the factory labor force by 1914. So up to the 1914 in Russia, women workers were in 31%. They formed a privileged class, had no political status or political rights. They were not having any political status or any political rights. Politically, they were not significant for the Russian country. They were discriminated that they were not having the equal rights like the they were not having the equal rights like the man in Russia. Okay, so they were totally discriminated, paid less than men. It is another important that how they were exploited, how the women condition were in Russia. Okay, so that is between half and three-fourths of the man's wage. That economically they were paid very less. The women paid half or the three-fourths of the man labor. Women, however, were in the forefront in the agitation and strikes for better and equal wages. And when we trace the history in Russian Revolution, women also participated wholeheartedly. They were also participated in agitation, movement and strikes for the better and equal wages. They participated in strikes and the agitation during the Russian Revolution because they want their equal wages. They also want the equal money, as they were working equally like the man in Russia. Improvement in condition of work 8 hours a day, reinstatement and voting rights, they were a source of inspiration for their male co-workers. On February 23, 1917, women led the way to strike as recognition of their active and significant role. That they were also participated, the women of Russia also participated in February 23, 1917 movement, where they fight for their equal rights and recognition in the society. February 23 is celebrated as International Women Day. That you can also remember the condition of women between 1900 to 1930 in Russia. You can associate it with the February 23, as this February 23 is celebrated as an International Women's Day in all over the India. So you can relate that it is related to the women condition and their, you can say, participation for their equal rights, for the equal wages, their equal political opportunity from Russia. So you can connect this with, so that you can remember the answer. Now another short note on the liberals. Liberals wanted, who were liberals, what was their you can say participation, and why they are important when we study the Russian Revolution. There is a need to understand the concept that if you will say that ma'am, we are not able to understand your fifth video or sixth video, so it will happen if you will not continuously watching the video to understand the key concept. That if you will miss any video, definitely you will not having the clear idea regarding the question, because mugging the things and then get the marks, then you will not achieve anything in your life. first thing is clear. Marks are only show your potential, that how much you can learn to satisfy the questions need, but again after next year you will forget everything. It is all about learning, and if you want to learn something forever, you need the books, plus constantly you have to watch the video, then you have to make the notes, and many times it will happen with us also when we were students, that many times you will forget, and many times when you draw your notes, the question that what is the meaning of that particular word will come in your mind, but doesn't mean that you will not search the meaning of the word by your own. Self learning, self motivation is so much important, because nobody can help anybody who is not interested in hard labor or in studying, because marking is not the, you can say, symbol that you will achieve anything in your life. Marking just a characterization, that okay, you have attempted 5 questions, okay, you will get this mark, you will get 3, but it doesn't mean that they are not having the everlasting effect on your future. So remember my word, that you have to need to read detail all the books and practice. Self practice is, and as far as the writing practice, the SST paper is so lengthy. If you will not practice, then you will miss the chance to attempt all the question in examination. So that's why keep this thing in your mind. Now the liberals, liberals wanted to bring a change in the society. As we know, they wanted a nation which tolerated all religions. That means they were in the favor of democracy. They opposed the uncontrolled power of the dynastic rulers. They wanted to safeguard the rights of individual against governments. They also wanted to have an independent judiciary to interpret law. It means they were in the favor of constitution. However, they were not democrats. Okay, they were not totally democrats. They did not believe in the universal adult franchise. It means they were not in the favor of vote. They felt that only the person holding a property mainly had the right to vote. It means they were not in the favor of democratic rule, but they were not in the favor of total autocratic rule also. They felt that they also did not want the voting rights to be given to women. So these two things, that why we are not comparing the liberals in Russia with the democrats, as they were not in the favor of universal adult franchise, and second reason, they don't want to give the voting right to the women. So that's why they were not pure democratic. Now the Stalin's collectivization program, as I have given this that what was the Stalin's collectivization program from the earlier video. By 1927 to 1928, there was a great shortage of food grains in the towns of Soviet Russia. Stalin introduced a firm emergency measure which is known as the collectivization program. From 1929, the party forced all peasants to cultivate in collective farms, and these collective farms were known as kolkhoz. The bulk of land and implements were transferred to the owners of the collective farms. Peasants worked on the land, and the kolkhoz profit was shared. So here, that more and more production of crops is suggested by the Stalin, so that they can cope up with the situation and the food shortage can be sought out within the nation. So it is all about your NCERT questions that you have to complete in this chapter. All the questions, question 1 to 6, all questions. Question 1 we have done earlier. Question 4 also somehow we have done as a form of notes and the homework also, but here it has asked in a different manner, so you have to need to do it once again with that impacts of the you can say February Revolution on the Soviet society, and the impact of the, you can say, October Revolution on the Soviet society. This thing has added in the question, that's why you have to do it once again. Why did the Tsarist autocracy collapse in 1917? Question 5 and then question 6. Now we will start in another video we will start the new chapter. It means in history you have completed the two chapter. First is the French Revolution, and second is also completed after this video, the socialism in Europe or the Russian Revolution. Thank you. God bless you.